This is One on One.
It's happening in suburbia. I mean, it's a new face. It's a new face of addiction now. Our kids are the new face of addiction. They're beautiful, handsome, you know, talented, right, creative, good families. The typical, your typical child. And they're dying. And they're dying
in vast amounts, grave amounts.
Too much.
Rapidly.
And, you know, we're losing too many kids. You know, and it's the same story, you know, with all these people in my group. They come and they share, and it's the same story, just that the names are changed. And it's a boy or it's a girl, but it's the same wonderful, beautiful children. And they're all they're all dying.
Powerful stuff. I want to reintroduce our friend Angelo Valente, the executive director of the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey. Angelo, talk about what we were just seeing.
Well, Steve, that was a message from 4 moms, three of whom lost their children to opiate abuse. And unfortunately in New Jersey, every day 2 families lose a loved one to opiate abuse. We're at epidemic levels with this particular issue in the state. And these moms came together because they wanted to make sure that other moms, other parents, other family members were aware that this is an issue that affects everyone. An issue that affects people in suburbs, people in rural areas, people in wealthy communities, people in poor communities. And it's an issue that we all need to be speaking to our children about. So these moms are very brave, they're telling their stories, and they're also providing tips about what they missed, signs and symptoms that they missed, which were really crucial for parents. I know both of us as parents of teens and preteens, that there's so many things going on with our young people. But one of the things we all have to do is we have to take the time to look for signs, to look for problems that might exist. And if there are problems, we need to get help.
And let's talk about a couple websites. A couple websites up here now. The first one, talknow.com is?
Talknownj.com.
TalkNowNJ, I apologize. TalkNowNJ.com. What's that for?
That houses the video that we just saw, which is an excellent resource. We would advise that every parent spend 10, 15 minutes listening to these moms, hearing their stories, and I think that they're really eye-opening. The other thing that you'll find on this site is resources that are available. There's links to treatment facilities, links to counselors. So if you do have an issue, certainly you want to seek help. And finally, there's a test for parents.
A test?
It's a test. What
kind of questions?
Well, it asks parents to really understand the issue of prescription drug abuse. You know, that prescription drugs are and can be extremely and potentially addictive. And we need to make sure parents are aware of this, because not everybody starts their drug addiction, especially prescription drugs, by accessing medicine cabinets, by buying drugs from friends or buying drugs from dealers. Many people, many young people, start their addiction by receiving a prescription from a doctor for a sports injury, for other types of procedures that might have taken place, even dental procedures. So we need to make sure the parents are aware that some of these drugs are extremely addictive.
Well, where are they getting access to it? How are they getting it?
Well, one of the major ways that they're getting access is through the medicine cabinet. And at the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey, with the cooperation of some of our partners, activists, and some of our other corporate supporters, what we have done is we have developed a comprehensive response to that, where we have a 5-step challenge called...
Is that the American Medicine Chest? We put that up right now?
Drugfreenj.org is a great site to visit for all of these resources. And what that challenge is to take 5 simple steps to help protect your home. The first step is to do an inventory, to know what we have in our medicine cabinets. Most of us have medicines that have been sitting there for years, and some of those medicines are very addictive. The second step is to make sure you lock those medicines, keep them out of the reach of children. I mean, the same way for many years we locked our liquor cabinets once our young people turned to be teens, we have to be considering locking those medicine cabinets, keeping them away from accessing. The third step is to dispose of your medicines properly. And if you visit our website, you could find a disposal site that's available to residents of New Jersey. We have over 100 locations where you can go to a local police department and dispose of your medicines that you no longer need or want. The fourth step is don't share your medicines, because medicines...
Do not share your medicines.
Absolutely not.
Someone says, wait a minute, you didn't use all those, I could use them. What's the problem?
Well, the problem is that those medicines are prescribed to you with a doctor, with understanding the ramifications of those medicines. And it's very dangerous to share medicines because you might be introducing someone to the issue of addiction. And we want to make sure that that's not the case.
Final point.
And final and most important, Steve, is we need to start dialogue with our children. We need to start discussing this issue. We need to start being honest with them about this issue and letting them know about how important it is and how this issue affects everyone. And we need to really, parents need to be aware that it's not something they could avoid talking about.
Speaking of being aware, the second clip, and I'd like you to help set this up, Ange. Steve and Elaine Pizicki, two leaders in this movement, not by choice. Talk about it, because we're about to see Elaine talking about, she's one of the four moms talking. Set this up. Why do they care so much?
Well, I think that they care because I think they feel that they don't want to see this tragedy happen to other families.
What happened to them?
Well, they lost a child to opiate abuse, and they tried and did everything possible to help their son. And I think that when Elaine speaks on this video, she talks about some of the signs that she might have missed and how she wants to make sure that other moms and other parents don't miss those signs. And early intervention is always important because we're dealing with a disease like any other disease. And with early intervention, you have your best success. And that's the message that we're delivering.
So these are four moms who care deeply, not just about their own children, but care deeply about your children, my children, which is why they've done this video. And this is Elaine Pizicki talking about, well, it speaks for itself. Let's go to the clip.
Some of the signs were silly little things. One day he was in the kitchen and he was scratching himself and he was itchy and he goes, "I'm so itchy," and I'm running to get the hydrocortisone. But it's a reaction from the opiates. They're so strong. And other things were just being irritable. When the heroin, which I didn't realize, we were all having dinner for my mom for her birthday, and he was at the table and he was nodding out like this. And then I was thinking, oh my gosh, he's so tired. Why did he go to bed last night? Well, he had to watch that third movie, and then he would talk like this, but then he would just start talking normal, and I didn't realize that nodding is really the #1 sign for heroin, opiates. And if I had known that, I would have known a little earlier that that's what he was doing.
How powerful is that, Ange?
Well, I think, as a parent, having another parent talk about the loss of a child is almost unbelievable and unreal, and we would never want to have anyone go through that situation. So the fact that these four moms came forward, the fact that they were brave enough to tell their story and share their story, I think really is a wonderful tool for all New Jersey families to use. And we would encourage people to visit the site, to spend that 10, 15 minutes listening to these moms, and to use that as a way to be able to identify potential problems. I mean, one of the things I think is important is we want people to rule out substance abuse. If their child and teen might be having any of these signs or might be experiencing any of these signs, we certainly want them to think about the possibility of substance.
Do you think some parents who may even see some of the signs that Elaine was talking about, do you think some parents are reluctant, even if they see it, to deal with it directly and confront it?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things we unfortunately are dealing with is there's still stigma involved with substance abuse.
So they say, okay, I see, they go, hey, listen, it'll work itself out.
That's
you
right.
say?
Yeah, well, absolutely not. The substance abuse and the substance use is not something that will work itself out. A child who is experiencing these signs, is abusing drugs, needs help. And they need professional help, and
They are sick.
They are. It's a disease like any other disease.
That's right.
If you had a child that had a heart condition,
you wouldn't stand by and say it would work itself out.
That's right. And like all other diseases, there's going to be relapses. Early intervention is key. And we have to look at this particular issue like we look at any other disease, like diabetes, like heart disease, like cancer. I mean, if somebody has a relapse, you wouldn't expect them to not receive treatment or not get help. So,
but what is I'm sorry for interrupting, what is the connection, though, between prescription drugs and then you talk about heroin? I don't understand that connection.
They are opiate-based. And in New Jersey and throughout the country, there are many examples where young people might experiment with prescription drugs, become addictive, and then when those drugs dry up, they become very expensive on the black market. And the heroin is a lot less expensive.
It's cheap?
It's cheaper. It's much cheaper, Steve. And that's the reason why so many people turn from prescription drugs to heroin, because it provides the same sensation and it's a lot cheaper. And
the power of early intervention? Last minute, talk about it.
There's no more important message than if you do anticipate or you expect or you know that your child has a problem, to get help and get some support. And there are resources. There are school districts that have resources. There is the medical community that is available. There are counselors. And we know that that's the best way to be able to deal with this issue.
Kid pushes back and says, no, I'm good.
We think it's important that that you do everything possible to get that child help.
A few seconds left here, Ange. I know we're going to continue to do work together and partner our nonprofit in the world of public broadcasting and your organization. You remain hopeful?
Absolutely. There are positive signs out there. We just did a survey that showed that most parents in New Jersey are recognizing this as an issue, and they are discussing it with their children. So we're making progress, but we have to continue to be diligent with that message.
And there is no more important thing that we can do other than be a part of the effort to increase public awareness and keep putting up the websites for organizations that are out there doing it every day. And we're proud to be working with you shoulder to shoulder.
Thank you,
Angelo, and the Partnership for a Drug-Free New Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Activists, in cooperation with the American Medicine Chest Challenge, Virtua, New Jersey Manufacturers, Cone Resnick, New Jersey Natural Gas, and by the law firm of Gibbons PC. Promotional support provided by the Star Ledger, powering NJ.com, and by NJ Biz, all business, all New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine,